So hopefully now you'll be able to see my screen now. Excellent. So as you know, Ayurveda, the Ayurveda science is based on a principle where food is sacred and food is medicine. And today we're going to concentrate only on something very specific, which is the Ayurvedic detox, and why we need to do this regularly and what is based on. And just before we start, everyone probably is familiar with the word Ayurveda, but just in case, Ayurveda is what is called the science of life. And is what the word means. The word is divided in two parts, Ayur and Veda. Veda means science, knowledge, wisdom. And Veda means life, and Ayur means this science and wisdom. So Ayurveda is the science of life, and is a study of life that encompasses so much more, not just food, but there's medicines, like herbs, there's lifestyle, and really energy, meditation, yoga encompasses everything that can be healing in life, and is very open and is very embracing. So just before we start, I would like you to think for a moment, what does it mean to be healthy for you? And just take a moment to describe what are you like when you're healthy? What does it mean to be healthy to you? What do you look like? How do you feel? What things you do? How are your relationships when you're healthy? How are your emotions? What does it look like? And this is what it is for Ayurveda. Ayurveda considers health, or a person is healthy, when a person who has balanced physiological forces, balanced metabolic fire, that we'll see in a minute what that means, properly formed tissues and waste products, who is established in self, and whose being, mind, body, soul, senses, is full of bliss, is healthy. That is a healthy individual. So the definition goes is much broader than what we normally see as being healthy, which is an absence of illness or just keep going. So there's physiological forces. So it's not something just up in the air or how you feel, or it's something that needs to happen in your body. We have a balanced metabolic fire that we'll see exactly what that means. So our digestion is optimum. Our tissues, therefore, they are well-formed, they are healthy. I love this, who is established in self, because for Ayurveda, to be healthy is to know yourself. And it's quite interesting because one of the definitions in Ayurveda of unhealthy, being unhealthy, is a violation to the intelligence of your body. So it's very important to know who you are in order to be healthy. And also full of bliss. And oh my gosh, when you think, right, the definition of healthy is to be full of bliss. And then if we look around in this world where we live, is, wow, we do need some healing here to do. There's something that really, really need to do here. And this is a very ancient translation from Charaka Samhita, which is an Ayurvedic textbook. And let me see if I can go to the next. Right, so we were mentioning Agni. And some of you have done some Ayurveda with me. Some of you have done yoga classes with me. So you're very familiar with what Agni is. But Agni is simplifying a lot. It's your digestive fire. And it's Ayurveda has this very poetic language. But at the end of the day, it's nothing but all the enzymes, all these metabolic chemicals and products in your body that are essential for good digestion, for good transformation. And according to Ayurveda, this is your health. If you have good digestion, that's everything. So every disease, everything starts with bad digestion. And digestion is not only digestion of your food, but also of your experiences, of your emotions. So this metabolic fire, this Agni, in that sense goes beyond the Western term of enzymes and metabolism, because it really goes through all the different layers, all the 5 koshas of the body. It goes from the physical, very physical, all the gastric fluids that we produce in order to digest, and all the enzymes to metabolize, but also it goes through the psychological, it goes to the spiritual, it goes through all the different, the emotional, all the layers of the body, because everything needs to be digested, integrated. And we are the result of that. Our body becomes not just what we eat, the famous sentence, the famous quote in nutrition, that you are what you eat. In Ayurveda, we would say, you are what you digest. So let's just go straight to what we're here for, toxins. And toxins, sometimes people think, oh, are they real? Aren't they real? What is a toxin? So a toxin is just a byproduct of poor digestion. It's when you don't digest something. It's undigested food. And if you really want to know what toxins look like, just go to a mirror and stick your tongue out and have a look at that tongue. And sometimes that we have that coating on top. It is exactly what it is. When you think that the tip of your tongue is is part of your digestive system, it's just one part. So everything inside is covered by this sort of residue. And what happens with this residue is, in the tongue, you can just scrape it and that's it. But inside the body, if we don't get rid of it, then it starts accumulating. And this in Sanskrit, we call it ama. So when you see the word ama, that means those toxins. So this ama starts accumulating in the colon, in the small intestine. And then from there, obviously, when you think of your gut is going to be absorbing everything, because that is what the gut does. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get all the nutrients. So as well as nutrients, if you have an accumulated level of toxins inside your gut, then your blood is going to go to your blood. It's going to be absorbed into the bloodstream. And then from the bloodstream, it's going to be taken everywhere in your body. And another quote, another important sentence in Ayurveda or concept is that food is consciousness as well. So food carries intelligence. Food carries messages in forms of chemicals. And those chemicals are telling the cells of your body what to do, what not to do, how to be healthy. And then if those messages that we are sending through the body are healthy and they are pure and they're actual food, then the body will read that and will respond, and it will be a harmonious communication, and all the organs will harmoniously communicate and will be nourished and will be healthy. But if what we are sending everywhere are toxins, the body believes that, oh, well, that I'm being fed with this, so maybe I need to listen to this. But toxins create confusion. The body doesn't know anymore. And this is very typical. Sometimes we have cravings and we don't know if we are balanced. Cravings can be a positive thing, can be a message from your body telling you that's exactly what you need. But if we are out of balance or we have a lot of toxins, that can be confusion. The body doesn't know anymore what to do. So, oh, normally they feed me with all this. It might be normal. So what happens is that this ama accumulates in the colon, in the small intestine, travels to the blood, but then from there can start lodging in various channels, in the tissues, in the organs in the body. And the deeper we go into it, then then we start feeling and having symptoms of illnesses. And these are all the different stages of disease in Ayurveda. But then it's not all bad news. We have this beautiful result of good digestion. So when we have good digestion, we produce what is called ojas. And ojas is something that is not really visible to the human eye, like the toxins are, because look at your tongue, and inside your body it is exactly the same. And I won't give you any gory details, but if you've gone through panchakarma or some deep detoxification, then you have seen those toxins with your eyes, actually. But ojas, you can't see it, but it's the result of good digestion. And how do you notice? When you see vibrancy in somebody's eyes, when you see the skin, when you see a baby, that skin, that plump, these are ojas. And is the responsible for good immune system, vitality, longevity, and it's something that we really want to cultivate. So this is going into a very practical mode here. Question, do I have toxins? And this is an AMA questionnaire. Sometimes the symptoms of toxins, they can be very misleading. They can be interpreted as something else, and especially because we are used to maybe go to the doctors with some minor complaints, and then the doctors might say, oh, that is nothing, or this is not a disease, you're okay, and it doesn't come up into the blood test, or we dismiss them like, oh, I'm getting old, or I'm on my period, or I have my menopause, or all these excuses or different ways. But all these are signs that you do have toxins to some degree. And by the way, we all have toxins. All have toxins, and if you are alive, you will have toxins. It's learning how to minimize them and learning how to detoxify regularly so the body can reset every now and then. So let's see how many of those you can answer. If you answer yes to even one of those, there are toxins in your system. The more you answer, the more toxins you have. So the first one, I often feel a sense of blockage in my body. It can be constipation or congestion in your lungs or sinuses. I often have difficulty digesting food. I feel foggy when I wake up in the morning. I tend to feel weak and there's no apparent reason. I often feel lethargic, unmotivated. I feel I need to cough regularly. I become easily exhausted, both mentally and physically. I frequently feel down or depressed, feeling a bit of low mood. I often have no taste for food. I catch a cold several times a year. So all these are signs that there are some toxins there. And then result, of course, that you can always detox. And in Ayurveda, normally we find that a very good time for detoxing is the junction between seasons. And that's why one of the things I'm preparing now, and I'm preparing myself, and I really can't wait to start my next detox, which is going to be in spring, towards the end of March. But normally from 1 to 3 times a year to different degrees. And there are many different ways of detoxifying. And you can also just use 1 day a week to do a mini cleanse so you avoid that build up. And important things for cleanses, you see around so many detox diets, and you have to be so careful as well. First, every cleanse is going to be specific for an individual, and we're all different. We all have different constitutions, and this is something that Ayurveda works with. Is the Prakruti and Vikruti. What is your imbalance? What is your constitution? Is what we were talking about at first, to really know who you are. And depends on your constitution, your detox might be different. The other thing to take into account is that we don't push toxins away. This is always very gentle. And what we do is we put the body in the right place so the body can do what the body is designed to do, which is to detoxify. That's what the body does. The body naturally knows how to detoxify. So the only thing we do is to stop giving the body more toxins, and to invite the body to open the channels, to create the space. And that is a very important part in Ayurveda cleanse, to really let me see, to really create space for the body to do what it needs to do. So, and here it comes. These are the general recommendations. And this is something that you can even try, and that is good for all doshas. And I guarantee this is very basic, but if you apply this for a length of time, and you can always go deeper, and you can always, do so many other things. But if you apply those principles, your body naturally is going to start detoxifying. So I think I'm going to minimize this so we can see this very well. So the first one is eat breakfast before 8 in the morning. The main meal of the day at lunchtime, around midday, and this is the main meal, not a little bit of a snack, is when we need all our energy, and is when our Agni, our fire, is metabolic digestive fire is at its highest. So anything that you eat at that time is going to be digested, metabolized, and is going to give you energy and ojas, that product of good digestion. And the lightest meal of the day is in the evening, and that's why we tend to call it in Ayurveda sopa, because the word reminds to the word of supplement rather than a proper meal, around 6 p.m. And everything, all this is provided that you are hungry. You don't eat, or you eat less if you're not hungry. And we can go into this. That's come up. Okay, we're staying here. Just give me a second. Right. This is linked with what I've just said. Only eat when there is proper hunger. So if you wake up in the morning and it's, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry, you don't eat breakfast. If you force yourself to eat anytime that you're not hungry, your body's not going to digest this. There's not enough enzymes. You're not producing hunger. The body-mind is so linked that only when you feel hunger, you're going to start producing all those enzymes and you're going to digest. If you eat something without being hungry, you don't digest. If you don't digest, you create more toxins. So it's very important to eat when you are actually hungry. That's a very important one, to allow 4 to 6 hours between meals, because this is the time that the body needs to actually digest. And today we don't have much time, but this is something that we learn when I work with clients or with groups, or maybe a theme for another webinar is what is all the process of digestion? What is really happening inside your body? And why it's so important not to snack? This is a bit of a difficult bit sometimes for people. Why do we need those times? The stomach needs to be empty. The stomach needs to be empty in order to start digesting. Imagine that you're making some lovely rice pudding, and then you're just in the middle of it, and then some friends come to visit, and then say, oh yes, I can add a little bit more. And then you add a little bit more. And it's not even finished, and more friends come, and then you add a little bit more. So what's going to happen? So nothing is going to get well cooked, and it's going to be unedible, undigestible. That's exactly what happens in the body. So that is a very important one. This is that very linked. Do not overeat. Normally we're so used to overeating, so used to it. And this is not efficient digestion. So can you imagine trying to wash the laundry and the washing machine is so full, nothing gets washed really. You need a little bit of space so things can just move around, and at first it feels very counterproductive, but there's a point when you really, really feel much lighter and brighter when you don't overeat. This is another one, is don't drink while I can hear maybe somebody who's joined us later on, which is absolutely fine. But if you could please mute yourself, because I think there's some, and I will unmute you all afterwards. Excellent, thank you very much. Drinking. If you drink, just before or after your lunch or during your lunch, there's two things. If the water is cold, you can just kill that acne. So there's no digestion, there's no detoxification. And the other thing that happens is that you are diluting and washing away all those nutrients. So you actually you can lose nutrients. This is for your detox. And I know there's a big thing about raw food, etc. And raw food does have a place, even in Ayurveda. But that's probably a theme for another day as well, because it's quite in-depth. But during detox, only cooked and warm food and drinks. And this is one, because what we want is to make, to help acne, this digestive fire, to actually work. And anything that is cool, imagine, there's a fire and then you just put a cool drink, it's going to kill it and you're not going to digest or detoxify. And the other reason, we want everything to be so easy. When we are detoxifying, we don't want all that energy, all that fire to be used to digest normally. We want all that excess of toxins. We want an excess of energy. And this is the reason why. And just linked to what we said before, try not to eat or drink anything after 7 p.m. Before 6 p.m. is the best. 5 is amazing, but that involves some changes in lifestyle. And there's other recommendations that can go deeper into what is lifestyle medicine, movement, yoga, meditation, and sometimes some herbs are needed. And a herb that is fantastic, amazing, is Tridosha. It works for everyone. It tastes disgusting, and probably those who've done Ayurveda with me, they know what I'm talking about. And it's Triphala. Is the best herb that you can take. Actually, it's the only herb that I will take for the rest of my life every single night, because it's detoxifying, keeps your colon cleansed, it helps you to go to the toilet, has lots of antioxidants, lots of vitamin C, is just really a miracle, really a miracle herb. And there are other experiences also that create toxins. So when we look into detox, we look into all these factors. Is there anything there that is stopping our acne to digest and detoxify what needs to digest and detoxify? Do we live with high stress levels? Do we live with fear and anxiety, with feelings of hate and anger? Are we respecting ourselves and our real needs? Are we overworking, overindulging in sex, abusing drugs and alcohol, sleeping too little or too much? If you're very, very hungry all the time, that's very important. If you are detoxifying and you're hungry all the time, this is not right. Your body's not going to detoxify. If you're hungry, you're going to create more toxins. That's why fasting doesn't always work for everyone. And, right, how do we get more of the good stuff? What can help this detoxification process and to get those ojas that we were talking about, that immunity, that longevity and that health? And probably you know some of those, but this is part of Ayurveda as well. Laugh and smile a lot, take time to relax, meditate regularly, spend time in nature, exercise your creativity, offer your gifts to others, follow your heart's passion, engage in physical activity. And this is a very, very fast and overview, and all these things are easier said than done. And that's why when I work with clients, I work with coaching and helping people day by day, week by week, because behind each one of those statements, there's a whole life to be unpacked, and there's a whole journey to travel. And the Ayurveda is not something that is a quick fix. It's not, okay, I want to detoxify, I have this, and that's what happens. It sounds cliche, but it's a journey, and it's a journey towards yourself, to really, really know who you are, to connect with the intelligence of your body, because once you connect with that intelligence, you'll know exactly what to do. And in the meantime, we are human and we are alive, and life happens. So that's why doing at least 1 2 or 3 detoxifications and cleanses a year is very necessary, and I personally do it. As I said before, at the end of March, I'll be starting this 3-week Ayurvedic Spring Cleanse, and it's open to everyone, people who've never done Ayurveda before or those who have worked in Ayurveda before. And I'm going to do it myself, and I just want to share that experience with other people. And everyone who's been seeing this webinar and being here with me or will watch it later on, just email me, because I have some special offers for you. And thank you very